Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to Technical Router. Today let us discuss about the OOPS concept. Today let us start with the OOPS. In the previous class until yesterday's class, we have done with the basics of Java and some programs based on that. Today let us start with the OOPS. We'll start with the oops. We already noted this Java is called as an object-oriented programming language, and everything is represented in the form of object. Okay. The major four pillars of OOPS are an encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Before going for those things, today let us discuss about the constructor. First, we have discussed about the constructors. After discussing about the constructor, let us go for those parts. Okay. Let us discuss about the constructor. These constructors are a type of methods. It is a type of method. The constructor is a type of method. It is used to initialize the objects. You just remember this definition. On going of the further classes, I'll explain and detailed explain definition about the constructor. Okay, it is used to initialize. It is used to initialize the object. It is also and the constructor is also a type of method. Okay, it is also a type of method. As we all know that there is a method means there will be method name and within the parameters there will be some method. Okay. Okay, let us see what is the syntax of the constructor. Syntax. Access modifier. Class. Class name. Okay, the class name is a programmer choice. Within the braces, method, public, class name. Okay, class name, data type, value, data type, variable, like that, so on. This is a syntax of the constructor access modifier. This is a class, right? This is a class access modifier class name, and the class name should be the constructor name should be and same as in class name. Okay, say the main method, not it is a method. In the method are taken and method name as a same as a class name. Okay. For example, here I'll write it down. Now it should be means. Now, for example, I'm going to take one class, public class. The class name I'm going to take it as a test class. Okay. The method name and now and constructor name. Okay, the constructor name should be same as a class name. See, the class name is a test. I'm going to take a no arguments constructor. Here is some logic of the program and closing of the braces. Like this, we are going to write the constructor, the class name and then method name here. Here is a method, here is a class, here is a method. The constructor name, this is a constructor. It should be the same as a class name. Okay. The constructor name should be the same as a class name. If there is a sample means here, then here the class name also should, sorry, my constructor name also should be a same. Okay. Method name. Both of them should be same. This is a default constructor, no arguments constructor. Okay, this is a no argument. There is no argument. There is no parameters within the parenthesis. So it is a no arguments constructor. This is one simple just I wrote in. Okay, this is a syntax of the constructor access modifier. The access modifier, I already explained the previous class. It can be an public, private, protected, and This is also bit. This is also access modifier. Taken in public. It's also access modifier. Okay, access modifier class name. That means in constructor name should be same as a class name. Here within the parenthesis, we are going to data type value. Data type value is a declaration here. Within the method, we are not going to initialize any values. Okay, these are about the syntax of the constructor. Now let us see properties of the constructor. The properties of constructor. Let us see properties. Properties of constructor. Now here in the syntax, you can observe here there is only an access modifier and then in class name there is no return type, right? In there is no return type here. Within this method name there is no return type, only an access modifier and class name, that is a method name. Okay, that is a method name. There is no return type. Access modifier should not have any return type. Okay, that is the first property. And in the constructor, the constructor name should be same as a class name. That is a second property. Let's give first. The first property says that the constructor should not have any return type. Should not have The constructor should not have a return type. In your we have taken syntax, there is no return type also in the method. So I have taken only an access modifier and the method name, but there is no return type. The constructor should not have any return type. That is the first property. Second property says that the constructor name should be same as a class name. I already explained you about that. Constructor name should be the constructor name should be same as a class name. Okay, and the third property says that the class can have an n number of constructor with different signature. I'll explain that property. A class can have n number of constructor with different signature. The class can have n number of constructor with different signature. Let us write one simple program for this based on this syntax. Okay. See here I taken one class. That class name is in test with the main method. Before that I'll take one more class. I taken class 1. Okay. This is a class name. Now I'm going to create a constructor. The constructor will be having only an access modifier and a method name. Okay, access modifier, method name. That is a constructor name. The constructor name should be same as a class name. I'm taking an access modifier as in public 1. No argument constructor. So I'm going to print some value. Okay. So to access the data from one class to another class, we are going to create an object for the class. Okay, which are the class that we needed. That class, for that class data, we are going to create an object. Okay, I taken here and construct. I have created a constructor. See here, the class name. This is a class. This is a method name. That is a constructor. Okay, I'm just doing some logic that I'm printing in hello. Now I'm going to access that data, means I have to create an object, right? O is equals to U. In the previously, when we are creating an object, we are saying that this is an now the class name, object reference, new constructor. This one we are going to call as a constructor, right? Hmm? We're going to call this constructor. Just by creating this, we don't need to call this method name. Just when we create this, it will internally create and execute the constructor. Okay, it will internally execute the constructor. When we create an object only, you don't need to call the constructor name. Okay, you don't need to call the constructor name. It internally executes the constructor. Let us execute now. See, I got the output as hello. It will internally executes the constructor. It is an implicit converter. Okay, the constructor, it is an implicit converter. When we create an object, okay, when we create an object, it will internally executes the constructor. Okay, this is one simple example for the constructor. Let me take one more example. Here I have taken an no arguments constructor, right? I have taken here a no arguments constructor. Let me take some arguments within this. Okay, I'll take one more class. I have taken one class here, sample class. So I will create an class 2. Class 2. I'm going to take a class. I'm creating a constructor, right? Access modifier, the class that is a constructor name. The constructor name should be same as a class name, right? The constructor. I'm taking some argument as an data type as an int, with then I'm declaring an x as a variable for an int data type. Okay, I'm taken one variable. Okay, now I'm going to print that variable x. I'll print some more value hi. Okay, I'm going to print some more value hi. Now I need to get this data. We know that the program execution starts from the main method only. So I'm going to create an date object for the that class constructor class. T is equals to new constructor. Mm, oh, sorry. Here I see I'm getting an compilation error because here I have taken an arguments constructor. I have taken an arguments constructor. Here I am not taking any arguments, so I'm getting an error. So I need to add some argument. Okay, I have taken here an int data type, so I have to add an integer value, right? I'm going to add an integer value as in 10. See, now I'm not getting any error, right? Here, if we add any argument in the constructor, when we creating an object for that constructor, we need to add the value. If I've taken a string means I have to take a string value. Okay. If I've taken a string means I have to add a string value. I'm going to add in Java. See, okay. If I'm going to take an any character value means char x. I'll take here. I'm going to take here as a yes. Is that right? Small c, sorry. See, for a character value, for a character, I'm going to add a character value. When we create an constructor, when we create an object for the constructor, when we're creating, if there is an argument constructor, we need to add the values. Okay, we need to add the values. I'll take it into only for a simple example. I'm going to take an integer value. Let me print. I'm going to get an two outputs. I'm going to get an value of x also, and I'm going to print it out simply an hi message. The value of x is the value of x, the value I given here. The value I given here. When we're creating an object for the constructor, on that time we are going to give the value. That value printed as an x value. Okay. Let me execute. Say I got the value of x as a 10, and then I printed an hi message, right? Let me add one more point here, that it is an implicit converter. This is just a point, not a property. I'm going to add one more point, that is an object creation. will internally execute the constructor. Internally execute the constructor. And then one more point is that it is an implicit converter. It is an implicit converter. When we create an object only, it internally executes the constructor. Okay, we don't need to call the constructor method. When we create an object for that constructor class, on that time only it internally execute that constructor. Okay. uh, Here, I told you that I explained the last property. I've already explained that it should not have any return type. See, when when I'm doing these problems I'm doing a program for these constructor based programs. See, I'm not taken any return type, only an access modifier, class name, that is in constructor name. In this also, access modifier, constructor name, there is no return type. Okay, the constructor will not have any return type. And the second property is also satisfied. The constructor name should be same as a class name. The first property satisfied, right? The first property is satisfied, that is, and there is no return type. And the second property is also satisfied. The constructor, each and every time I'm taking in constructor name as a same as class name, including an uppercase and lowercase also. Okay, the constructor name should be same as a class name. See, same. Okay, the third property says that the class can have n number of constructor with a different signature. Okay, I'll take one class, I'll create one class. I'm going to take a class name as a number. Okay, I'm not taking any main method. I've taken one class. Okay, the last property says that the class can have an n number of constructor with a different signature. With a different signature there should be there, but it can contain n number of constructors. Okay, let me see. I've taken one class, the class name as a number. I'm going to create a constructor now. Public, no return type, access modifier only, and constructor name should be same as the class name. This is one constructor. Okay, and one more constructor I'm going to create it with different signature. Okay, for this one it is same, right? For this one, and this is a no arguments construct. This is also a no argument construct. I have to add in some arguments inside the constructor. I'm going to add an int x. This is different. Okay, one more constructor with different signatures. String is, and we can have an inside that data type value up to maximum is 4, right? We know that. And char c. This is one other constructor with arguments, with two arguments I've taken. I'm going to take one more constructor. I'm taking as a char c comma int x. This is one other constructor. See, the class having in four constructors, right? With different signatures. Here there is no nothing. Okay, it is a no argument constructor. It is having an argument that is an integer. Here there is an two argument that is a string and then char, right? And here it is also having an argument that is an char and a int. These are the this is an about the fourth property, that the class can have in any number of constructors. Okay, but there should be a not similar. Okay, it should not be similar, but there should be a different signature. Okay, similar means the constructor name will be same as a class name, only difference will be in the inside the parenthesis. Okay, inside the parenthesis there will be some difference. Inside the parenthesis there will be difference. See, comparing to this constructor, it is no argument constructor, it is an arguments constructor, then one argument. When we comparing to this one to this one, it is one argument, it is having a two argument. It is also having this one to this one, but it is also having two arguments, but the data type inside them and their variables are different, right? Data type inside them and variables are different. Okay. Okay, let me create an object for all these. Let me take one class, public class, taking a class name as a 3. Oh, sorry. I'm changing the class name. Hmm. Oh, I think I've changed here. I'm getting errors because the constructor name should be same as a class name, right? Okay. Okay, I'm taking one class. I'm taking a main method. I'm going to create an object for these 4 constructors. So the first is I'm going to create an object. Number n is equals to new number. I'm creating an object for the no argument constructor. So I'm not adding, not passing any value. Okay. I'm going to create an object for this one with an integer value. Okay. With an integer value. When we're creating a constructor for each of them, there will be new a new object references will be given. Okay. New number of an int data type I'm taking as a 65. See, I've taken an now for an constructor with an integer value. Okay, I've taken is an int argument. Let me take for an 2 arguments. Number n2. I have taken the third one has taken a string and a character. Now I have to give a string value and a character value. I'm going to give a string value as in Java and a character value I'm giving as an A. Hmm. For the fourth one, n4 is equals to new number. For fourth one, I've taken in 2 characters, that is in character and 2 arguments, that is an argument constructor with 2 parameters, that is in character and int. I'm going to pass the values of character and int. Taking in character as an D, integer value as an 89. Okay, if we give the same constructor object reference means, okay, I'm going to get an error because I have already taken this object references in. If I'm going to give the same thing means we are going to get an error. Okay, we have to change the name. It is an object references. Okay, we can have a different number of parameters here, different number of parameters and then different types of parameters, and we can also have a different order. Okay, we can have a different order also. This is about the third property. That means the constructor can have the class can have n number of constructor with different signature. This one will satisfy the third property. Okay, here is a class. In the class, I am having an n number of constructor with not with the same signature with a different argument. That is a different signature, right? Here is no argument. Here is some argument that is an with argument with an integer. Here two differently. Okay, these are about the simple basic about the constructor. Let us discuss tomorrow's class how to design and constructor also. Okay, now. These are about this is an just remember what is an constructor. That is a type of method it is used to initialize the object. Actual definition when we are going for other programs, I'll explain. Okay. I'll tell what is an actual explanation of the actual definition, mainly actual definition of the constructor. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to end here. Thank you. If you like the teaching of the constructors, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Please support us. And if I want to improve something on the recording subjects, please do comment. Okay, in what way I have to explain. Okay, guys, thank you.